What's going on, guys? MMA Island team. We're back with the fight picks. I'm here with Zach. We got a good one here in the women's bantamweight division. Yana Kunitskaya taking on Julija Stoliarenko. I want to talk about this one to start this off. Really excited for this one. This one's kind of underrated in my opinion. Yana Kunitskaya taking on Julija Stoliarenko. Stoliarenko coming from Invicta. The first thing you have to notice about her, fought on the Ultimate Fighter, obviously the split decision loss to Leah Letson. She has arm bars for days. This girl has 8 submissions, and I'm pretty sure all of them are arm bars. Yeah, all of them are arm bars. So this girl knows how to get arm bars. And then looking over at Yana Kunitskaya, she's lost via arm bar before in her career. So you got to think, hey, well, she's got that ability. She's been submitted by an arm bar before. This girl's crazy with arm bars. I'm going to have to disagree with you because I'm looking at Yana Kunitskaya, and this is one stat that I was so excited to bring up. I typically don't write notes when I talk on here, but I had to write this down. Stoliarenko, in fights where her opponent has more than one knockout, she is 1-3-1. So she has 1 win, 3 losses, and 1 draw. She's 9-3-2. So what does that tell me? That tells me that when she fights people who can actually strike, she loses typically. So looking at Yana Kunitskaya, Yana Kunitskaya is a name in the division, beating Marion Renault. She like names upon that. She's been in the UFC, in Invicta as well. Just I have to value Yana Kunitskaya here. As I mentioned, fighters with more than 1 KO. She's 1-3-1. Yana Kunitskaya has 7. So that's one thing that I think is really important to bring up. The 1 win she has in those fights with opponents higher than 1 KO, the girl who she beat is currently 5-6. So what you can't, when that is a huge stat. I had to bring that up. That's like crazy to think about. Passing it over to the UFC calculator, just talking about this fight. I have to reload this, but the calculator has this one at a 53.6% chance for Kunitskaya to win it. So it is close by the calculator's terms. For my terms, not really. I do value that a lot, as what I mentioned before about Julija Stoliarenko getting so many arm bars and having Kunitskaya lost via arm bar before. Two fights I can bring up through my memory that I can relate to in that way are Liana Jojua and who did she fight? Belbita in that fight. Belbita's lost by an armbar before.
Belbita's trash.
And Jojua has got arm bars before. She got the armbar on her. As we saw in the last card, Jennifer Maia has got an armbar before. Joanne Calderwood has lost via armbar before. She won by armbar. So arm bars are one of those things that if you are a fighter that is really good with arm bars, who Stoliarenko clearly is, you have that chance. And then we've seen that before. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is put on the list. I wouldn't be surprised if Kunitskaya, for whatever reason, tries to take the fight to the ground and get submitted there. But I don't think Stoliarenko is going to want to stand with Kunitskaya because that stat that I brought up is insane. 1-3-1 and the 1 win. The girl's 5-6. So worlds better. So this is interesting. I mentioned in a few picks before this how you look at where these fighters are vulnerable. Kunitskaya can stand with Stoliarenko. Kunitskaya probably doesn't want to go to the ground with Stoliarenko. Stoliarenko can go to the ground with Kunitskaya. Probably doesn't want to stand with her. So really excited to see where those differences are. In my opinion, I just value Kunitskaya getting a knockout here because she has such better striking than Stoliarenko. Passing into the UFC, I guess, outcome calculator, it's got it at a 58.4% chance to win by KO. And just if I can throw this in here because I forgot to mention it, for the Dariush Holtzman fight, Dariush, we got him at a 66.4% chance, 64.1% chance by decision. So I'll pass it on to Zach here. I think I got Kunitskaya on this one, and let's see what he's got.
Excellent statistic from the stat guy over here. And one thing, mentioned Liana Jojua, got something in the works. That's all I'll say. Anyway, moving on to this fight. One thing that intrigues me, yes, all the armbar finishes on her record is Stoliarenko's experience in kickboxing and Lethwei, Lethwei is one of the weirdest disciplines. I'm pretty sure it's just Muay Thai, but you can headbutt. But so we know that, yeah, it's a crazy sport, and she has an exhibition kickboxing bout as well. So we know that the striking is there, but really her bread and butter is the ground game, namely arm bars, which is, if you see someone has a lot of arm bars, then you know that they're kind of an entry-level jiu-jitsu person, but not really entry-level, but entry-level for professional fighting. Because if you have a very high-level jiu-jitsu fighter, they're going to have more than one submission on their record. Arm bar is one of the first things that you learn when you go into jiu-jitsu. It's one of the first things that you master. So if you see see a lot of arm bars on a person's record, that's one thing to consider. Anyway, moving into this fight, Yana Kunitskaya, that's one thing to mention is her physical strength. She fought at women's featherweight against Chris Cyborg. Yeah, that fight didn't go her way. But did we expect it to? No, not really. But her 2 wins at bantamweight, very impressive wins in Marion Renault and the elbow queen, Lena Landsberg. And with those fights, we saw what Yana Kunitskaya can do very well. Volume striking. Volume striking for sure. 5.05 significant strikes per minute. And we know that Stoliarenko's striking defense is not there. It is not the level it needs to be to fight someone with the volume of Yana Kunitskaya. But here's the thing. Kunitskaya is kind of likes to use her wrestling a little bit. Taking down pretty much all of her UFC. She's taken down all of her UFC opponents, including Chris Cyborg. So I would not be too surprised if she throws in a takedown there. I mean,
please don't.
I know. Please don't. Please don't. We'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. I think that her striking offense is going to be a bit too much. And this is, I mean, again, this has a lot of shades of the Belbita Joshua fight. But the one thing is, Yana Kunitskaya is not terrible like Diana Belbita is. Because she's proven herself in the division. And she had a close fight with Aspen Ladd until, she just got knocked out. But, Aspen Ladd's now the de facto number 1 contender for the women's bantamweight title, I think. Bar Irene Aldana. But anyway, I'm getting off course a little bit. I think Yana Kunitskaya is going to win based off of her striking offense. I'm not sure she has the power to knock out Stoliarenko because she's had all that, she's had a lot of experience taking a lot of shots from Lethwei and kickboxing people. I got Kunitskaya by decision.
All right, so we both got Kunitskaya on this one. You wouldn't be crazy to go with the other fighter here. I don't think you could go with Stoliarenko on this one just because of the volume, as we mentioned. So I'm really excited for this one. It's kind of interesting to see. Like, as I mentioned before, it's I always love bringing up these sort of factors in fights. It's where you're vulnerable, and they're both vulnerable in 2 different scenarios. And as we mentioned, Kunitskaya does like to take the fight to the ground, and as I forgot to mention, Stoliarenko also likes to strike. So it's kind of interesting. I am really excited to see where this fight goes, and we want to know what you guys think. So make sure you guys let us know what you guys think in the comments. We're really excited for this fight. Make sure you guys are also checking out all the other fight pick videos. We got the whole card laid out, separate fights. So if you're just watching this one, you got to check out the others. So we appreciate you guys watching, and make sure you check out the other videos.